What's up YouTube, ODST General back again. We find ourselves fast approaching the end of 2020 obviously, and with a new firefighting game just released and the holidays quickly approaching, I decided now would be a good time to compare a number of the most popular firefighting games and see which of them is the best. We are going to be looking at 5 games today: Immersion NYC, Flashing Lights, Into the Flames, Firefighting Simulator The Squad, and No Troph 112. We are going to be judging the games on 3 categories: immersion, optimization and bugs, and pricing. Games will be given between 1 and 5 points in each category depending on their placement in that category. Before we rank each game, let's go ahead and take a closer look at each title. Immersion NYC was developed by Flipswitch Games and independently backed through Kickstarter and Steam. This is how it is described on its Steam page. Immersion NYC is a genre-bending simulation of New York City's emergency services. Drive over 30 different fire trucks, police cars, and ambulances alone, or with up to 32 of your friends through busy New York City streets with blazing sirens and air horns. In reality, Immersion NYC's mixed reviews are the result of fun gameplay and concepts clashing with poor optimization and years' worth of delayed content. With an ever-expanding list of first response games, competition seems to have driven improved development practices from Immersion NYC. However, if it is enough to improve the outlook on the game remains to be seen. Up next we have Flashing Lights, developed by Nils Jarkin, hopefully I pronounced that correctly, and initially launched on Kickstarter, which was cancelled before completion. Flashing Lights is published by Excalibur Games and describes itself as follows. Flashing Lights is a single-player and multiplayer emergency services simulator focusing on police, emergency medical services, and the fire department. Straightforward and simple, which is a good way to describe the game as well. In my opinion, Flashing Lights hasn't created the most immersive experience. However, it does make for a good casual experience and has consistently updated since release, making it popular among first response fans. Into the Flames is our next game, and it is developed and published by Fully Involved Game Studios. Like our other games to this point, Into the Flames was initially funded through Kickstarter. If you thought Flashing Lights had a simple description, wait until you hear this. An open-world multiplayer firefighting game. That's it. That's the description. Now, in my opinions, Into the Flames came out the gates swinging. Already, it has a comparable amount of contents to all of the other firefighting games before it. With that being said, since this game is still in early development, this game lacks a certain polish to it. Firefighting Simulator is the most recent release on this list. It is developed by Kronos Unterhaltungs software and published by Astragon. It is also the first game on this list to follow a traditional game development path. Once again, let's read the quote from the Steam description. Firefighting Simulator lets you experience what it means to fight fires up close, as an active part of a major US city's firefighting crew, together with up to 3 friends in the co-op multiplayer, or in the single-player mode. Firefighting Simulator offers the most unique experience of all the titles on this list, choosing to instead focus on more confined gameplay with a bigger focus on team play, as opposed to the more open-ended games that we have on this list, which is pretty much everything else. Developed by Chronotech Studios and published by Aerosoft, we have No Troph 112. Like Firefighting Simulator, No Troph has had a traditional game development from the start. Here's the description pulled from Steam. Emergency Call 112, the firefighting simulation, is an exciting, fully detailed simulation of the eventful life of a big city fire department. It was developed in cooperation with and modeled on the Fire Brigade of Mulheim, Germany. Mulheim has one of the largest and most modern fire stations in Europe. In my personal opinion, this game had the opportunity to be one of the strongest contenders on this list, but has been hurt by a lack of support following release, which we'll get more into later in the video. Alright, now that we have taken a look at each game, let's go ahead and start to rank them in each category. First up we have Immersion, which has a dictionary definition as a deep mental involvement. This can be hard to quantify in terms of gameplay, so we will be looking at the realism of tools, vehicles, and other gameplay features that bring each game as close as possible to the real thing. The lowest scoring game in the Immersion section is Flashing Lights. The decision to place Flashing Lights in last was due in large part to a lack of fire simulation generally uninteresting fires, and certain UI elements which tend to break the immersion of the game. Next lowest in 4th place is Firefighting Simulator: The Squad. Despite having fantastic fire and water simulation as well as gameplay, Firefighting Simulator was held back by an overall lack of variety in its content with regards to vehicles, tools, and calls. Taking 3rd place in the Immersion category is Into the Flames. While rapidly changing and improving, at current Into the Flames doesn't really offer any unique gameplay aspects compared to other titles on this list. However, it was largely placed here due to inconsistency in vehicle sizes, liveries, and player movement. 2nd place in the Immersion category is Notrif 112. Having a large variety of vehicles and tools, it came in a close 2nd place. The biggest decision to hold Notrif back was older graphics and very linear and restrictive gameplay during emergency calls. Of course, with all the others off the list, that leaves 1st place in the Immersion category to Emerge NYC. Many tools, realistic liveries, detailed fire stations, player freedom, all made for a strong push to 1st place. With placements announced, let's assign points. Flashing Lights earns 1 point. Firefighting Simulator earns 2 points. Into the Flames earns 3 points. Notrif 112 earns 4 points. And Emerge NYC earns 5. The next category we're going to take a look at is optimization and bugs. Starting us off in last place is Nostrif 112, with several game-breaking bugs and reports of some performance issues. These are made even worse as development and support of the game ceased years ago, leaving many players out of luck. Trailing close behind, in 4th, we have Emerge NYC. Emerge NYC has large issues with performance, and bugs are on and off issues with this title. However, as the game is still in active development, it elevates it above Notrif. In 3rd place, we have Firefighting Simulator. This title has proven relatively bug-free so far. However, as the newest title, it does have higher requirements for optimal performance. In 2nd place, we have Into the Flames. Performance-wise, this is very similar, but slightly worse than Flashing Lights. The game is also relatively stable, despite earlier development stages compared to the other games on this list. Taking first is Flashing Lights. While the game does contain the occasional bug, they are generally harmless. Furthermore, it had the best performance, and with further optimization updates planned soon, this was the clear 1st place choice. Alright, let's take a look at the number of points earned by each game in the optimization and bugs category. Notrif 112 earned 1 point. Emerge NYC earned 2 points. Firefighting Simulator earned 3 points. Into the Flames earned 4, and Flashing Lights earned 5 points. For our final category, we have pricing. Keep in mind, these prices may vary depending on your location and the date that this is watched. In addition, some games have the same pricing, so some games will be ranked together this time around. Starting off in last place again is Nostrif 112 at $28.48. Now, the base price of this game is actually the same as Emerge NYC and Firefighting Simulator. However, this was also the only game with DLC, so in order to get all content, you have to increase the pricing, unfortunately. Obviously, Emerge NYC and Firefighting Simulator both tie at $24.99. And then also tying is Flashing Lights and Into the Flames at $19.99. With all prices announced, let's take a look at the scores. Notrif 112 earned another 1 point, once again being in last place. Emerge NYC earned 3 points. Firefighting Simulator earned 3 points. Into the Flames earned 5 points. And Flashing Lights earned 5 points as well. Alrighty, so now that we have these scores tallied, let's take a look and see where everybody placed. In 5th place overall, we have Notrif 112. It was weighed down by bugs, performance issues, and high pricing when the DLC is accounted for. In 4th place, we have Firefighting Simulator. It finds itself here by a lack of variety, higher pricing, and larger performance requirements. In third place is Immersion NYC. Its strong gameplay elements were outweighed by poor performance, bugs, and higher pricing. Taking a very close second is Flashing Lights. While Flashing Lights does cater to a more casual audience than most of the games on this list, it has good performance compared to the other titles as well, and it also has a cheaper price point, making it a good title for most people to get into first. Alright guys, that brings us to our winner. Taking first place is Into the Flames. This game may be the earliest in development, but despite that, it hits all the high points it needs to take first place. It's got cheaper pricing, a good variety of vehicles and tools already in the game, with probably more to come soon, and similar performance to Flashing Lights, which was one of the better performing titles in this list. Alright guys, that's it for the video. Of course, I want to know what your guys' thoughts are on these titles below. Have you guys played any or all of these games, and what do you guys think is the best? Let me know in the comments below, and thank you guys, and I'll see you next time. Take it easy.